Okay, we're going to do a lesson today about how to find missing dimension when you know volume. We've already done this lesson when we were finding volume of a rectangular prism. So we're going to do just about the same thing today. We're just going to add one more step. Remember though, we are using the formula for volume of a triangular prism. So remember that formula is whatever your volume is, you find it by multiplying your base times your height times the height of the whole shape divided by 2. Okay, so that's the formula we've been practicing for the last 2 days. Let's look at a sample problem. We have the volume of a triangular prism. The volume is 6,300. The base is 30. The height is 35. And we are missing the other height, the height of the whole prism. And then we know we have that divided by 2. We remember from the last time we did this strategy, we took what we had in the problem and we multiplied it together. So we're going to take 30 times 35 and we're going to multiply it together and we're going to get 1,050. We are then going to work backwards, right? This whole formula is found by multiplying, so we know we have to work backwards to find that missing shape. So we're going to take our volume, which is 6,300, and we're going to divide it by the product of 30 times 35, which is 1,050, and we get 6. So we would think 6 would be the number that would replace this height, but that's not the case. Because remember, there's one more step when we find volume of a triangular prism, and that was divide by 2. So we are not going to take this 6 and divide by 2. Remember, we're working backwards because we're looking for this missing height. We're looking for the missing variable. So our whole formula was found by dividing to work backwards. So now we have to take this and work it backwards. So instead of 6 divided by 2, we're going to take 6 and do the opposite operation, which would be times 2, and we're going to get 12. So what that means is this missing height would be 12. Now we can check that. I would expect you to go get your calculator and check 30 times 35 times 12. Don't forget to divide by 2. You should get 6,300. So once you have the value of a missing variable, go back and check and make sure it's accurate. All right, that's a good way to catch any math errors that you may make. Let's go over here and look at this example. This is the formula we're using. Volume equals base times height divided by 2. We have our volume, 10,125. We have a base and we have a height. We're missing our height. Okay, we're missing our second height. So we are going to take what we have and multiply it together. So we're going to take 45 times 30, and we are going to get, when we multiply, 1,350. All right. Now we have to work backwards to find this number. So we are now going to divide 10,125 divided by 1,350, and we are going to get 7.5. 7.5 is not the answer to this missing height, because remember, there's one more step. In our formula, we divide by 2, but we are working backwards now, so we're going to take 7.5, and we are not going to divide by 2, we're going to multiply by 2. And the answer that we are going to get is 15, which means our height that we are missing is going to be 15. So what would I expect? You go get your calculator and you multiply 45 times 30 times 15, then divide by 2, and you should get this volume. All right, we're going to do one more. If you want to stop and start this video to kind of work it on your own and check your answers along with me, that might be a good idea. Remember, the formula that we're using is volume equals base times height divided by 2. We were given the volume, which is 3.5. This time we're missing the base, but we have a height of 1 4/10, and we have another height of 2 5/10. So we are going to take what we have and multiply it together, and we're going to get 3.5. Now we're going to work backwards to find that missing base. So we're going to divide what we have by the entire volume. So we're going to take 3.5 and divide it by 3.5, and that's going to give us 1. That does not mean that base is a 1. Remember, you have one more backward step. So in our formula we divide by 2, but since we're working backwards, we're going to multiply by 2, and 1 times 2 is 2, which means our missing base is a 2. So we're going to put this into our calculator. 2 times 1 4/10 times 2 5/10. We're going to then divide by 2, and we should get 3.5. So this is the exact same strategy we used when we were finding missing dimensions for volume of a rectangular prism. You are multiplying what you have. You're dividing with your volume, and then the last step is, after you divide, you're always going to multiply your number times 2. You're doing the opposite operation of divide by 2. You are always taking your final number and multiplying it by 2, and that will always give you your missing dimension. So today, after you watch this video, you're going to have 3 problems to try on a Google form. I expect you to use the video, stop and start, take your time, use paper, pencil, and your calculator, and I think you're going to be super successful. Go get it.